Welcome back to another episode of Replay Roundups Tankers. Once again, I am joined by the wonderful Mr. Keyhand, and today we have a replay of the AMBT on Serene Coast. And this is definitely a tank that I overlook personally a lot, but it's a very potent tank when you use it right. And again, another auto-reloading tank with a lot of notes to be taking on how to manage your clip. So Mr. Keyhand, what do you think of this? And let's start heading into the battle already while you give your thoughts.
Yeah, as we head into some gameplay, first of all, let's take a look at the loadout. We do have purple vents, purple stab, and also a bounty turbo that goes together with a plethora of APCR, and I can't help but mention it. Medkit on 6, I mean, not something I would do.
Medkit on 6 is interesting, I gotta say, but hey, who knows, maybe he's just an angled keyboard gamer. Then maybe.
All right, that might be a possibility.
Yeah,
anyway, he is top tier against tier 6s. Serene Coast, he's directly driving towards the C1 area. Makes sense for him because he does have a lot of gun depression available and that 3-shot autoloader that can be ever so brutal. And we're gonna, I guess, see him put it to good use here, as his allied T-34 is also probably going to be a crucial linchpin for his team, as the T-34, just like the AMBT, as a tank that likes playing hold down, and a nice cheeky shot here into the Progetto to start it off. Another auto reloader. Indeed, that was really well played there by his behalf, holding that position just to get that cheeky shot in, because now that Progetto's on half health, he's not going to be able to peek as easily, and that's going to be critical to our player here, Solid Frog, being able to play this position uncontested by the Progetto for the most part. Real quick point on the premium APCR. I mean, when you have an option between APCR and premium APCR, why not if you can afford it, I guess. And we already see him putting good use to those shells, hitting 2 for 2 on the Renegade's cupola, which, you know, recently, I used to love the Renegade. Recently, I'm not a huge fan of it, purely because of that cupola. And, I mean, Mr. Solid here didn't hold that third shell. He did empty out the clip because he realized it's a vital tank to put damage into. That Renegade needs to be on low health, so he doesn't decide to peek and play that ridgeline. Yeah, also, you will notice that there is artillery in the game, so auto-reloaders are faced with this interesting option of basically clipping out, then having slightly less DPM for it, but they are exposed less towards the arty, so I think that was probably going on in the back of his mind here, as the Renegade puts a nice shot here into the T-34 and the Progetto peeks from the side, and suddenly the situation, which sort of seemed okay-ish for his team, starting to look dire. There was only 2 tanks left here directly at the start, but yeah, great kill onto that Progetto, only having to use 2 shots, so reload not too bad right now.
Indeed. Now, when playing this northern area, me personally, I'm of the opinion that playing north on Serene Coast is how you win Serene Coast. If you lose north, it's a harder fight to win, whereas if you lose the south, it's not as hard to regain ground, essentially. And lovely peak, by the way, and lovely cupola shot, but a lot of damage taken in return, and again, artillery stun, so he's going to have to wait for that to wear out and get his reload back up. The SHPTK has actually come around to this area here, which could potentially be problematic if he manages to pick up the kills on the 2 tier 6s there, because then he'll be able to farm our hero in the rear every time the hero tries to play the ridgeline. So, of course, he's decided to turn around and give some attention to the SHPTK, and this is the perfect decision to be making here. He puts 2 in, and in fact, I'd put the 3rd in. Let's see if he does. He does take that tank out of the game, and now you don't need to worry about an enemy top tier tank that can actually contest you.
And take a look at the kills right now. 3 enemy tier 8s are down, and guess who's killed all of them? Our hero here in the AMBT. And by the way, that kill shot on the Renegade, high rolled while stunned and not fully aimed, is, I guess, Fortuna was, you know, looking at him and smiling. Guess who's not smiling? It's going to be the Dicker Max. He's taken out of the game here, and right now it's sort of looking even. 5 kills apiece for each team, and our hero here, he can comfortably reload because the T-34 graciously is covering the ridgeline currently.
Indeed, and he's even letting his allies know in the chat that is reloading, which, you know, is vital communication occasionally. You don't see it that often, but when it happens, it can be an absolute charm. Going back to the thing about it being relatively even in terms of HP and kills and so on, you may think that at first, but keep in mind, our hero here is alive in a tier 8. The VK101P and T-34 are both still alive, whereas the enemy team only have a Tiger 2 left, and he is severely outnumbered on the other flank. So even though the HP is more or less similar, kills are more or less similar, firepower and armor advantage and effectiveness definitely goes here. And that's a lovely fire shot on the Leo and a lovely penetrating shot into the Tiger 1. And of course, that's the benefit of using the premium APCR round. You don't need to worry about ricocheting that shot or not penetrating that shot through the gun mantle, but I'm pretty sure the standard APCR might have actually even done the job anyways.
I mean, yeah, against tier 6s, it might be a bit excessive. Then again, he's on 2 gun marks currently, so he probably doesn't really give a damn about, you know...
probably going for the third.
Yeah, he doesn't really care about losing credits or not making as many as he could. Also in the AMBT, as it's an auto reloader, actually, even with intuition, it is quite cumbersome to just get that other ammo into the clip. And first one does not connect here on the Super Hellcat. Now he gets spotted for it, but man, the rolls this round. This tank has 360 alpha, I believe, and he's just pulling those 400s.
Indeed. Why can't mine ever pull these shots? But hey, that is a bunch of copium from me. And now he is looking to pick up the kill on either this Super Hellcat or the SCRV-74. And it looks like he might actually have a shot on the Super Hellcat in a moment, who is trying to flee, but goes around the back of the rocks. Unfortunately, that was never going to hit. But honestly, at this point, I'd personally go really aggressive. I'd drop down safely and just go super aggressive in this scenario to try and pick up that Sturv. You know everything's been spotted. It's really unlikely anything's rotated to the back sort of area here. And the Super Hellcat's coming straight out to play. And he's going to look to shut down this Super Hellcat. But of course, T-34's on low HP, so he can't keep spotting for the AMBT forever.
Also, I think he was getting a bit anxious here, trying to shoot the Super Hellcat while it was behind a rock here. And now things are suddenly starting to look a little dicey. The T-50 -2 is at the moment currently, yeah, just killing the arty, and suddenly it's 4 tanks against, well, 5 and an artillery. That Caro is on very, very high HP. The T-78 is probably freely roaming around the map right now. The Tiger from the, well, Heroes team cannot really advance. The VK now goes down, and from what looked like a very, very easily winnable game, suddenly we're down to, yeah, Mr. AMBT driver here having to do something great to win this even, and that is a start.
Perfectly predicted. Perfectly predicted. He knew the T-50-2 would have to come around to take him out at some point, or try to, and he perfectly predicted it, turned around just in time, started moving just in time, and was pre-aimed just in time for that T-50-2 coming around that corner and took him out. And next up, it's going to be the Caro on the chopping block. Let's see how this goes as our protagonist tries to drop down and get the drop on the Caro P-88.
Yeah, right now, if my math doesn't fail me, the clip that this tank has is 1080 alpha, I believe. So theoretically, he should be able to one-clip the Caro. Now, the difference in between theory and practice in World of Tanks obviously is always something that you need to keep in mind. But he does roll him here, 338 to finish it off. But the problems don't start here, or don't stop here rather. The T-34 does go down, and suddenly he's faced with 2 enemies that he will need 3 shots to kill.
Indeed, what we saw here was some good support from the Caro 88's allies, because they went on a full assault as soon as he started pushing that T-34. The Super Hellcat went for it, the Sturv went for it as well. Unfortunately for the Caro, he wasn't expecting our AMBT protagonist to be waiting for him, and the Super Hellcat gets a bit overconfident there with his abilities after taking out the T-34, comes around the corner and gets picked up by the AMBT, and that puts out our AMBT player on 8 kills with 6.8k damage. And next up to the chopping block is the T-78, but our hero's only got 1 shell in the clip right now, and he's got 9 seconds left on reload. Fortunately, only gets tracked by this T-78 for now, and the Tiger 1 is coming up at full speed behind the T-78 for a pincer through this area here, and that should hopefully pull enough time for our AMBT player to get the reload in. Manages to put a shot in just as the Tiger does as well to secure the kill there, and that puts him on 9 kills now. And next up, artillery being brave, being bold, but ammo rack says no, and there goes the Lorraine, 10 kills. Last one on the chopping block, Sturv 74.
Lorraine, what do you say after that one? Brutal, savage, wrecked.
Oh man,
absolutely blown up here and blown out of the game, as he does even get the ammo rack. And now only the STRV-74 is remaining here, is down to a 1-shot, and obviously Mr. AMBT driver here, he does want to get it. And I think the Tiger 1 is actually being super nice here and not killing the target, as the STRV is actually lying on the side. So yeah, 11 kills, 7.7k
And-
damage for the AMBT, and what a round. It was very, very nice to see how basically a combination of skill and luck did win him this game. The shot on the Renegade Cupola was dicey to say the least, and it even was a high roll. It was dicey to go for that play onto the Icaro P88. There were a lot of decisions that could have turned completely in his face, but, you know, sometimes if you don't take the risk, you don't get the reward.
No, definitely not. And this was definitely a matter of take the risk, use the fact that you're top tier to your advantage and be super aggressive. But with that being said, let's take a look at the endgame stats where we see our hero here got a mastery, a lot of medals, Hand of God, Bruiser, Arsonist, Demolition Expert, Fire for Effect, Duelist, Shellproof. That is a solid mouthful, as well as a Pools Medal, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and a Top Gun. And of course, this was a 2.2k base XP match. Well, 2,196, but hey, who's counting the petty 4 XP missing there, right? With 7.7k damage and 11 kills with 11 medals to your name. This guy definitely did his job pulling the team, pulling a victory for the team here. 25 shots fired, 22 direct hits, 22 penetration. Say what you will about firing premium rounds. That takes skill.
I mean,
firing 25 rounds, hitting 22, and penning all of them. That takes skill.
Also, what you need to keep in mind is that he made profit in that round anyway, and he probably had personal boosters running, which don't show up here on the replay side. But yeah, overall, a very exciting game to watch. Some very amusing moments as well in there, but congratulations to Zolty Frog,
Solid
I guess,
frog.
from the clan VTAPs. We hope to see you again soon in the replay roundup series, but I think that's all that we have for you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified of future videos. We'll see you soon, Commanders.